from that chapter. Okay. After that, Vaiga, you'll be doing some questions from the chapter force and pressure. All right. And also you'll be doing some numerical questions from the chapter sound. Okay. Both of you turn your cameras on. Yes, Ramesh, turn your camera on. I guess you both were present while we did the question, while we did this class, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what is a cell and why is it called the basic unit of
Sir, I,
life?
sir, I think we did these questions before.
These questions we did. Okay, just answer the first question once again.
Um, Cell is the basic unit of every living organism,
Hmm.
and it is called the basic unit of life as cells are present in every living organism,
Young living organism or just basically any living organism?
any living organism.
Okay. What are the two types of cells based on the organization, the complexity, and the type of nucleus they have?
Prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells.
Prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. Answer the following questions: that which is the largest cell out of the following options?
Ostrich egg.
That's obviously the ostrich egg. Good. Next, the basic living substances. This one is interesting. Like, the all the living component of the cell, we term this as protoplasm. Okay, now the
Yes, sir.
living substance that is termed as protoplasm. Okay, so protoplasm. Sorry. So protoplasm basically the living material of a cell that will include its cytoplasm, the nucleus, and the plasma membrane. All of that will be together called as protoplasm. Next, the
Leucoplast.
exactly the colorless plastid, which stores starch and protein. So we have learned about various types of plastids. You're answering leucoplast, no? Yeah, leucoplast. Good. About the chloroplast, what do you know?
Is green in color and present in plants.
Okay, and it particularly contains chlorophyll, right? Okay, and as for the chromoplast,
It is like present in colorful flowers and gives them color.
good. Other than other than chromoplast, also we have some other colorful um, plastids, right? Okay, so plastids basically we have three different types of plastids are there. You have chromoplast, you have leucoplast, okay, and you have chloroplast, right? Chromoplast would be basically the colored plastid, like it could be red, yellow, orange, etc. While leucoplasts are colorless and their function is to store the starch. Next question: the rough endoplasmic reticulum is rough due to the presence of. Why can you haven't answered any question yet? Are you answering on the other ID? Yeah. Yes. The rough endoplasmic reticulum. Why is it rough?
Ribosome.
Because of the presence of ribosome. Good. The dash provides fixed shape and rigidity to plant cell. Fixed. It has a fixed shape.
The cell wall.
Exactly. Okay. By the way, you guys tell me, is the cell wall alive or dead? It is considered as dead.
Alive. Oh,
No, no, not alive. It is considered as dead. Okay, it is the non-living component of the cell, and primarily it is composed of the cellulose. Okay, and cellulose does not shows any characteristics of living organism, so it's basically dead. Next, Yes. Vaika, what's the answer for the sixth question? Yes, Ramesh.
Is it flagella?
No, no, flagella is a different thing that helps in locomotion to the cell. They are present on different kind of body of the microorganism. Take a look at this thing over here first. Inside the nucleus, remember I did told you there are some thread-like structures that we call as chromosomes. In the given one, you can see here. So those thread-like structures are actually chromosomes. Okay, no?
Okay.
Why are you there in the class, no? Yes,
Yes, sir.
Vaiga. You haven't answered any question yet.
Yes, I'm doing all in one.
Oh, okay, okay. But try to answer all of them like one after another in that manner. Anyways, you have already answering it. Okay, dash helps in transport of materials in a cell.
Endoplasmic reticulum.
Exactly. Good. And the last one,
Vacuole.
vacuoles. So they act as a storage house. Okay, what about the lysosomes? What function do the lysosome perform?
Like um like they destroy like
Mm,
damaged cells and damaged
exactly.
things in parts.
So thereby we also call the lysosome as the societal bags, right? They call it societal bags because it will be capable of destroying the parts of the cell. In fact, it can destroy the complete cell. Okay, no? So they contain digestive enzymes in them which can break down and digest the cell itself if the cell is damaged. And it can also basically digest the damaged portions of the cell. Okay. So answer whether these ones are true or false. Why do I need to change the slide? Have you answered all of it yet? I will do one thing. I will drop the screenshot here. Why for this one, you will be answering at the same time. Okay, now start answer one question at a time. Yeah. So unicellular organisms have one cell body.
True.
That's true, obviously. Muscle cells are branched.
So
No. So muscle cells have a structures like this. Okay, no? Muscle cells are kind of like this. So which cells are branched in the human body?
nerve cell.
Which one?
Nerve cell.
Nerve cells, exactly. Okay, no? Nerve cells are also called as neurons, right? Neurons or the nerve cells, they are branched. And in fact, they are the longest cells in our body. The nerve cells are the longest cells in our body. So this one is false. Yeah, C question,
False.
obviously. And
True.
Oh,
true, exactly. Okay, this one, like, you guys have learned about the human nerve cell in the school, right? So generally, question about the diagram of the human nerve cell is asked. All right, no? So let's draw the diagram of this human nerve cell. You guys
so,
know it already, or do I need to help you with this?
so my teacher told us that
Hmm.
and for us we won't have like the drawing. It will only be ninth, so we'll only have labeling.
So I
Oh,
also don't have.
okay. So you will only be required to label the parts of the neuron cell.
Yeah,
Okay, okay.
not
Let's start.
really neurons, just the plant and animal cell mainly.
Okay, it's like that. Okay. Nonetheless, suppose if a question like this comes, so I will be just giving you some small intro to this. Okay. So the nerve cells kind of okay. See, this is the nucleus. Okay, that is called as nucleus. Okay, then this right over here that we are calling as axon. That's called as axon. These structures that you see over here, we call that as dendrites. We call this as dendrite. Okay, now then these are called as axons. Okay, there are many more parts, but that's a simple one. That's called as axon. Okay. Now like the nerve cells are the longest cell in the human body. Okay, they are the longest cell in the human body. Interestingly, they can even reach up to 1.5 meter long in length. So just imagine how long they could be. 1.5 meter long could be the maximum length of the nerve cells in the human body. Okay, now hope it is clear. Now write short notes on the following on cytoplasm and on the nucleus. I'll be assigning this question. Who would like to answer for the cytoplasm? Yes. Okay, Ramesh, you answer cytoplasm, and Vaika will be explaining about the function of nucleus. Like what is nucleus and what function does it perform? Yes. Cytoplasm, you understand? No? Like that.
Yeah, I know.
Mhm.
Sure, like should I tell now or
Yeah, you have to.
no? Cytoplasm is basically the liquid-like substance that is present inside of the cell.
Okay, rather than saying liquid, okay, that is correct. You should appropriately say jelly-like fluid.
Okay.
Jelly-like fluid. Fluid is same thing as liquid, but it is kind of jelly-like. Next.
Like it con all the organelles are in the cytoplasm.
Mhm. All the cell organelles are basically suspended in it. Good point. So all the cell organelles are kind of suspended in it. Good. Then it is present in between nucleus and the cell membrane, right? So
Yeah,
cytoplasm is the jelly-like fluid present in between nucleus and the cell membrane, in which all the cell organelles are floating, and all the functions of the cell are occurring within this medium, within this cell membrane. Sorry, cytoplasm. Okay. You say, Vaika.
Okay, sir. Nucleus controls all activities of the cell,
Hmm?
and it is present in both plant and animal cell.
Hmm?
Uh, Nucleus consists of nuclear membrane,
Hmm?
nuclear pore, nucleus, and chromosomes.
Hmm?
And the functions are like it is responsible for cell division,
Hmm?
and it is also responsible for the transmission of genetic material to the next generation. Um, and I think it controls the metabolic activities of the
Of the
cell.
cell. Very well explained. Very good. Okay, very good. Okay. Which part of the cell contains organelles? Right.
cytoplasm.
Right now we have discussed. Good. You will also not be required to draw the sketches of animal and plants, right? You will only be required to label the parts of human and plant cell, I guess,
Yeah.
as you told me. Okay.
Yes.
So I will be drawing some diagram, or if I have already some diagram, okay, anyways, I will draw some. Meanwhile, you guys tell me, like, potatoes are red. What could be the reason behind this? Like, what kind of plastid must be present in it? Sorry,
Chromoplast.
did I say potato or tomato?
Tomato.
Tomato, yeah.
Potato.
Not. I think it's tomato. Okay.
Okay.
Mhm. Do tell me, chromosomes are thin threads and they have genes on them. They contain genes on them. Is it true?
Yeah.
Hmm? Yes. So that is correct. Okay, now they are thread-like structures and they contain genes on them. And genes are the hereditary unit. Okay, na? Hereditary unit. Okay. Let me draw some diagram first. By the way, can you guys tell me, like, how the plant and the animal cells are different? Each one of you mentioned at least 3 differences.
The plant cell, the nucleus is in the middle.
In the plant cell.
No, I mean in the animal cell. Then
Hmm.
in the animal cell,
In animal cell wall is absent, and in plant cell it is present.
Good.
in animal cell, the food vacuole are like
Mm-hmm.
in more amounts, but they are small. But in
Smaller in size.
plant, but in plant cell, there's like one big food vacuole in the middle.
Good. And which cell organelles are only found in the plant cell
In the chloroplast
and the cell wall,
cell wall,
right?
yeah.
Okay, good. Can you guess which one is the animal cell and which one is the plant cell out of the two?
The first one is animal cell, and second is plant cell.
Good. Why are you sick? Like,
Yes, sir.
okay, your voice is cracking. What is C and what is D? I have marked one extra thing here. What is C and what is D? What is this structure? E. And what is F? And what is this? G. Okay. The parts are understandable now. You guys can understand the different parts, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Now for this one also, let me draw. One more thing is left here. Hold on. Mention about the H also. By the way, you guys have labeled all the parts yet or not?
Put in the chat box.
Okay, yeah, put it in the chat box. Okay.
Oh, okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay. I've got these structures also. You guys also have learned about Golgi apparatus, no? Yeah.
Yeah.
Golgi apparatus also, no? Okay, good. Okay, let me see your answers, Ramesh. Yes, A1 is correct. Yes, B correct. C. Yes. G1 you have mentioned correctly. Good. Ashwin also. I have written one more. Okay. I also. Label this one also.
Okay, sir.
Remaining all the others are correct. Very good. Why are you answering for the animal cell? Very good. So like the diagram is relevant. You guys can understand the diagram. Good. Okay. While Vaika is answering, you can answer some questions to me. Okay.
I'm labeling the plant, sir.
Oh, sorry. The second one is left now. By the way, the size of the cell, do we measure it in millimeter, centimeter, micrometer, or decimeter?
Micrometer.
Micrometer, good. How many chromosomes are found there in the human cell?
46.
In the sperm cell
23.
and ovum?
23.
23, good. Okay. For which microorganism the word cell is not applicable? Out of the different microorganisms, like you have bacteria, alga, fungi, virus, for which one the word cell is not applicable, Vaika? Yeah.
So what is the question?
Question is, the word cell is not applicable for which microorganism?
Is it virus?
Indeed, it is virus. Okay, no? Because they lack the most important part of a cell. Okay, now the virus are lacking the most important part of the cell. That is, they don't
Cyt
have the. Continue.
cytoplasm?
Cytoplasm, neither they have structures like ribosomes and it is not present. Getting it? So those important structures are not found in it. Okay. In fact, the nucleus is also not well structured. Okay, no? So they will generally consist of the nucleic acids like ribonucleic acid or deoxy ribonucleic acid will be present. Okay, no? RNA or DNA is only present in them. Getting it? Yes, continue with this.
Sir, I labeled the plant cell.
Mm-hmm. You have labeled. Hold on. Okay. Vika, I didn't saw your answer. Let me see yours. So A is cell wall. This you have answered
So
for
I
the.
didn't get the answer for
Uh-huh.
G and H.
Repeat again for the
I didn't get
G
the
and
answer
H.
for G and H.
Oh, okay. This you have mentioned for the animal cell. See, A
Yes.
is not the cell wall, no? Ramesh, you also have answered this as cell wall. Hold on.
No, cell wall for the plant cell.
For the plant cells, you have answered no. Oh, okay. Good. So A here is the cell wall. The outermost boundary of the animal cell is the cell membrane. Okay, Vaika?
Okay, sir.
Mm-hmm. But the plant cells have two boundaries. One, they have cell wall, and the outermost is cell wall, and then next to that you have the cell membrane. Okay, so for B you have answered. No, that one is not actually lysosome here. That one is um, vacuoles actually. Vaika, this one here, no, is vacuole. Okay. Next, C, that is nucleus. D, that is nucleus. Good. E is ribosome. No. E is this. This is the endoplasmic reticulum, and on top of it, it has ribosomes. So this is a rough endoplasmic reticulum. There are two types of endoplasmic reticulum. The one on which the ribosomes are found, they are called as rough endoplasmic reticulum. In short, written as RER. Okay, and this one does not have any ribosome. So this one is called as smooth endoplasmic reticulum.
Oh,
Ge-
okay, sir.
Getting it or just getting confused? Please tell me.
No, sir, I'm getting it.
Getting it good. And for the G1, that's the mitochondria. Okay, the
Sir,
powerhouse
but
of
my
the cell.
it's down shape, right?
Not necessarily like it could be in this shape, it could be in this shape, like orientation could be different.
Okay.
Okay. And the H1 is it's the cytoplasm, no? This yellow fluid, not necessarily yellow in color, but the one with marked with yellow. That's a cytoplasm. Getting it? And the I1 you have answered correctly, by the way, that is Golgi apparatus. Okay. Now for this one, what you have answered, Ramesh, that is cell wall. Then first one is you have answered cell wall, then cell membrane, good. Third, good. Okay, fourth one you have answered. Yes. The fifth one you have answered cytoplasm. How is it cytoplasm?
I got confused with cytoplasm and chloroplast.
Oh, okay. That's a chloroplast. Okay.
So for plant cell, the
Mhm.
second one's answer is it plasma membrane?
Yeah, we can say it as plasma membrane or cell membrane. Both are the same
Okay.
thing. Good. Then next you have written for the sixth one, what you have written mitochondria, good. And seventh one is Golgi apparatus, very good. Viga, the first one is this.
Cell wall.
Second,
Plasma membrane.
and third, vacuoles, right?
Yes, sir.
They're
Vacuoles.
vacuoles, good. And fourth one, it's the endoplasmic reticulum, but have ribosomes on it. See,
So it's rough
the
endoplasmic.
rough endoplasmic reticulum, exactly. And next five, this is where photosynthesis occurs.
Plast.
Chloroplast, exactly. Okay, and it's basically a plastid now, one of the plastid. Sixth is the powerhouse,
Mitochondria.
mitochondria. Seventh is Golgi apparatus. right?
Okay.
What is the function of Golgi apparatus? Is anyone? What function does it perform? It helps in packaging the protein, okay, and help it transport to other different parts of the cell, okay. Now, so what happens? Like, it will be receiving the protein from the endoplasmic reticulum. The protein from the endoplasmic reticulum goes to the Golgi apparatus. Then it will pack it. You can take it as a like a post office where the post are packed and it is then sent. Getting it? Like you have to send some. You have to do a speed post. Suppose, okay, you have do a speed post. You guys understand, right? So you have to do a speed post. You have to send something to your family or to your friend. So you go to a post office, they will be packaging it and then they will be forwarding it to some other city, right? So protein from the endoplasmic reticulum goes to the Golgi apparatus. So they will kind of modify it, they will package it, and then from here it will go to different parts of the cell. Understanding it or not, what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Hmm. Like, one thing I find very interesting about the cells, like if you were to look at the engineering of the cell, the way how all the things are happen there, it is very a cool thing. It's the coolest thing you will be able learning in science, okay. No, like there are two very cool things. One, if you were to learn about microbiology, the way how the protein would be binding onto the different structures of the cell, the way how different reactions would be taking place, those things are really very interesting. That's the fascinating, a very fascinating thing. Another thing is astronomy, okay. No? So these two things I find very, personally I find very interesting. Okay, let's do some questions. Some questions were left from this one. State the difference between eukaryotes and prokaryotes. Sixth one, Vaiga, you will answer. Seventh one, you will be answering, Ramesh. Okay.
So am I supposed to answer the sixth one?
Yes.
Okay, sir. Prokaryotic cells does not have a nuclear membrane and it is not well organized.
Hmm.
Examples of prokaryotics are bacteria and algae. And eukaryotic cells have a cell wall which is organized and a nucleus.
By the way, you're saying that alga are prokaryotic.
Yeah, I mean blue green algae.
Okay, yeah.
And
Blue green alga, you can take that. But alga
yes, sir.
generally they are eukaryotic organisms.
Okay, sir.
Okay, no?
And
Mostly they are eukaryotic. Continue.
examples of eukaryotic cells are onion cells.
Yeah, you can take that as an example, or the human cells, any body cells.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Hmm. Which one is bigger in size out of the two? Eukaryotes or prokaryotes?
Eukaryote.
Eukaryotes are
Eukaryotic.
bigger. Good. And you measure them in micrometer. Okay. That is basically 10 raised to the power minus 6 of a meter. Yes, Ramesh, continue.
Um, Chromosomes are found in the nucleus,
Hmm.
and their function is to carry the genetic data, which is basically the
Found in the DNA and in the genes.
genes. Yeah.
Right. Okay. 10th question. Let's complete the crossword here. So the first one, this is necessary for photosynthesis.
Chloroplast.
Chloroplast. Very good. But this one is not going to be chloroplast, particularly by going by this, no? This is across actually, no?
Yeah.
Across this one. So that's going to be
Chromosomes.
hmm, chromosomes. No, no.
Chloroplast.
Chloroplast indeed. Okay, good. A term for component present in the cytoplasm, the third one.
Organelles.
Organelles. Good. Sixth one, the living substance in the cell. That is
Protoplasm.
protoplasm. Let me fill it also. Like this is protoplasm. Okay. Chloroplast. Yes. Next.
Genes.
That is genes. Good. Okay. Vaiga, how about you answer the down one? The green plastids. I think now the appropriate answer for the first one should be chlorophyll. This is necessary for photosynthesis because there will be two same answers for this one. The green plastids.
The chlorophyll is with two L's, right?
Repeat again.
The chlorophyll is with two L's or one L.
It has two L's, I think. I guess.
Then it won't fit in the first one, right?
Hold on. Yeah, actually, you're correct. It won't fill. Mm-hmm. CHLOROPHY. No, it will fill now.
Okay.
See?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So it will fill. So chlorophyll would be the appropriate answer for this one. Like this is necessary. But and the first one here in the down, it is specifically asking us about the green plastid. So that thereby it is chloroplast. Yes, Vaiga, this one. Formed by the collection of tissues. This over here. Collection of tissues forms organs, isn't it?
Oh, yes, sir.
Hmm. Next. Whatever is the content of the cell, it is separated by its surrounding by the
Mitochondria.
mitochondria. Fourth one is over here, this one. How is it going to be mitochondria? Like over
Oh,
here, we
no,
already have something.
mitochondria, sir.
It's the membrane. Okay, now it's the membrane. Okay, now the complete word cell membrane is not written. Simply the membrane is written here. Okay. Next, empty structure in the cytoplasm. They are empty but can be used as storage. Yes, Ramesh?
Vacuole.
Vacuole.
Okay. A group of cells, obviously. That is
Tissue.
tissue. Good. I guess you guys had this chapter also. Metal and non-metal. And both of you had this chapter, no?
Yes.
I don't think I have metals and non-metals for my final exam.
For your finals, it is not there.
I don't have.
Okay. Do one thing. In the next 15 minutes, you'll be doing some questions from the chapter Stars and Solar System, as we haven't discussed many questions from that. Okay.
So stars
Ramesh.
and solar system, I don't have for
No,
my
no,
final exam.
it's only for you, Ramesh. In the next 15 minutes, we're going to do the chapter metals and non-metals. Like, okay. So, Ramesh, I'll be dropping some questions here, and which will be answering. Okay. Okay. See, in the chat box, I'm putting some questions for you. Okay. These questions, either you can do it on a sheet of paper or if possible here in the chat box. All right. Okay, let's start. Vaika, we didn't had any classes for this chapter before, no? For metals and non-metals with you. I think we didn't had any. Okay, let's start. In the chapter, metals or non-metals, basically this chapter is about the properties of metals and the non-metals and how they would be reacting with different substances, what kind of physical and chemical properties do they have. So about the metals, generally what we know, as you can look at some of the metals given here in this image, that they are typically having a shinier appearance, right? They can be bent, they can be beaten into the thin sheets. They are usually good conductors of heat and electricity. While as for the non-metals, like for example, sulfur, graphite, wood, hmm, so they are oftentimes brittle, meaning that upon being hammered, okay, like a piece of rock, upon being hammered, it will break into pieces. They have a dull appearance and they are poor conductors of heat and electricity. Hearing it what I'm trying to say?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Further, in nature, we have so many elements. Okay, now we have so many elements. Like uh, in nature, like we have as many as about 98 elements. Okay, now about 98 elements naturally occurs. 98 or somewhere you can find this as 92. So nonetheless, it is between 92 or like 98. And there are some elements which we have made in the laboratory. So in total, we see that there are 118 plus elements which we have in the nature. Out of this, generally, roughly we can say that 92 of them are naturally occurring, found in the nature, while the remaining ones we have made them in laboratories through various chemical reactions, through particularly nuclear reactions. Further, we see that we classify these elements in metals and non-metals, and then we have semi conductors also, basically the metalloids. So talking about the metals, they are more in number in comparison to the non-metals. Getting it?
Yes, sir.
Now, generally, we define them as the objects that are having a shinier appearance, that can be beaten into thin sheets, that can be molded, that can be drawn into wire, that are good conductors of heat and electricity. But there's an interesting way to define the metals, that they are described as the elements that would be losing the electrons, to form positive ions. Okay. Like if you recall the chemical effect of electric current, there we had learned about electrolysis and electroplating and all that, right? Remember, while the reaction was being carried out, always the metals, okay, would be losing the electrons. They would be losing the electrons, and they would be getting the becoming positive ions. So suppose, for example, we have the electrolyte copper sulfate. Hmm. Copper here was the metal, no? Right? And copper is also the cation. It forms positive ions, no?
Yes, sir.
So when will it form positive ion? When it will lose the electron. Okay. So in a reaction, metals always loses the electron. Okay, no? But other way to describe the metals as that metals are objects that are shinier, that are malleable, that are ductile, and they are good conductors of heat and electricity. Examples are aluminum, copper, iron, tin, gold, etc. Around 90 of the total 118 elements we have so far are metals. About 90, okay. About the physical properties of metals, we see that the physical properties of metals are such that they are malleable and they are ductile. So malleable basically means that like you can hammer it, it can be pressed into thin sheets. It will not break, okay, no? But if you were to hammer or press wood, it will break into pieces, no? So metals
Yes.
shows the property of malleability, that they can be hammered or pressed into thin sheets without being broken. Another property is that they are good conductors of heat and electricity. Okay, they are good conductors of heat and electricity. So how they are good conductors of heat and electricity, let us understand that also. As we know, for electricity to be conducted, the object should have free electrons, because electricity is all about the flow of electrons, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So this is a piece of copper wire, suppose. These are the atoms in it, okay? And it has free electrons. So electrons can move from one atom to another, from one atom to another like this. So they have free electrons. That's why they are good conductors of electricity. Plus, the metals atoms are very compactly packed inside the metals. Okay, and thereby that also makes them a good conductor of heat. Okay. Then they are lustrous. They have a shiny appearance. Okay, no? They have this property of being lustrous. They have a shinier appearance. So that's why the ornaments are made up of it. Okay. Further, all the metals usually, except for mercury, is at solid state at the room temperature. All right.
Yes, sir.
So generally, all the metals except for mercury will be at a solid state in the room at the room temperature. Then they are tough and they are strong. That's why for the construction purposes, metals are preferred because of their high strength, and they can survive in various environmental conditions. So they have high strength, they are durable, they are having longevity, they are they have the ability to withstand the harsh weather conditions compared to other materials. Then they are sonorous in nature. Like when they are hammered, they will give a ringing sound. Okay, now they are sonorous.
Yes.
Hmm. Upon being hit, they gives a ringing sound. Malleability already you learned. It can be hammered, and also if you were to heat it further, its malleability will increase, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Soft basically means that they can be drawn into wires. Okay, no? That's how the copper wires or any other wires are made. That is one thing. So also one more important thing, that their melting and boiling point is very high, right? So generally, for example, iron, its melting and boiling point is very high. Hmm. If you need to melt iron, suppose, if you have to melt it, you have to provide a temperature of more than 1500 degrees Celsius. Then only it will melt. And suppose if you have to boil iron, so just imagine how much of temperature you have to provide. So it's almost double, somewhere around 2800 and something, 2800 degrees Celsius has to be given to to boil the iron. Got it? So generally, all the metals have high melting and high boiling point. So other than all this, I will be adding few more. So high melting and boiling point. Further, they are hard. But you guys know that there are some soft metals also that you can cut with a knife. Hmm? You know about sodium and potassium? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So you can cut them with knife. So hard, generally they are hard, but exception is there. You have sodium and potassium that can be easily cut with a knife. And sodium, like sodium and potassium, these are highly reactive. They are highly reactive, and they must be stored under oil, like under kerosene, in order to protect their contact from air or moisture.
Yes.
Otherwise, it will react with the air and will catch fire, and will be a explosive reaction also. Okay, no? If you were to drop sodium in water, it will be a little bit of explosion. Okay. So that was the physical property of the metals. So about metals, we have learned about physical property, and chemically they will be losing electrons, right? And will be forming positive ions. Okay. Just hold on. Let me see what Ramesh you have answered. The first question in the star which is nearest to the Earth.
Sir, I'm writing the last answer right now. I'm almost done.
Okay, write it then. About physical properties of non-metals, they are brittle. Brittle means that they can break into tiny pieces. They are bad conductors of heat and electricity. Exception is graphite. They are non-lustrous, right, and cannot be polished. But here again, we have exception of iodine. Okay. So generally, non-metals are non-lustrous. Okay, now they are poor conductors of heat and electricity. Also, they are less harder, less strong in comparison to the metals. Okay.
Sir, but graphite is not poor conductor, right?
That's what I'm saying. No, like we have some
Hmm.
exceptions also. Like here we have the exception of graphite. Okay, then non-metals are non-lustrous, but we have exception. Okay, no, we have the exception. Like iodine is the exception. So iodine can be polished and can be given a shinier appearance. Okay. Further, they have low
Yeah,
melting and boiling point. Yes,
sir, I finished it.
you finished. Okay. Okay. Just hold on 1 minute. Non-metals can exist in various stages. About the metals, what we know, Vaiga, that mostly all of them are present in the solid state. Exception is there, like we have mercury, which is found in the liquid state. But normally, at room temperature, the non-metals can be found existing in the solid state, even the liquid, and in the gaseous state also it can be found. Further, neither they are malleable, neither they are ductile. Okay, no, they don't show any property of malleability and ductile. You cannot hammer it into thin sheets or draw it into wire. They are neither as tough nor neither as strong, and they have low melting point and boiling point. Okay, as you can see, they are brittle, but to this also we have some exception. Okay, no. So can you tell me which exception we have? Generally, we say that the non-metals are brittle, but there is some exception. Hmm? Yes. Is diamond a non-metal?
Yes, sir.
Isn't it? So we have that exception here also. Okay. By the way, is diamond the strongest and the toughest object we have?
Yes.
Hmm? Okay. It is considered as one of the hardest material you would be saying. Okay, no? One of
Yes,
the
sir.
hardest you'd be saying. Okay. But you know, nowadays we have some substances like there are some chemical substances that are even stronger and tougher than diamond. Okay, like that some carbon compounds are there. Okay, like certain types of carbon nitrides are there nowadays. They are non-lecturers also. Okay, the remaining things that are there not left here to be discussed, like the chemical properties of the metals and non-metals, like how they would be reacting with acids, how they'll be reacting with bases, how the reaction will go. That we'll be doing in some later class. Okay, Vaika?
Okay, sir.
Probably, I think we'll be required to have some one extra class at least. Okay. So let me know when you will be available for this.
Okay, sir. Today I just had the revision of this chapter, so yeah.
Okay. If you feel the need to have extra class, just let the counselor know. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Mhm. Now let me check your answers, Ramesh. Hold on. It's the first phase when distance online does not finish is part of the whole. Why can you can exit the class by the way, okay?
Thank you, sir.
Suppose glad the sunlight fully covers it. Okay. Meteor is a piece of rock in the sky caused by a meteorite crashing through Earth's atmosphere. Space and spread of metals and rocks. Very good. Let me see the objective answers. What you have answered. Okay. Write the names of two constellations. So Ursa Major and Ursa Minor. How many stars are there in these constellations? You answered that as
In Ursa Major and Ursa Minor,
Mhm.
5
Ursa Major and Ursa Minor. They have 7 now.
or
They
7. Okay.
Saptarishi, like they have the question mark,
Okay.
Great Bear and this Minor Bear. Okay, good. By the way, you have answered like